The waiting is over, guys. Sandro Tonali is now a Newcastle United player after the club announced within the last couple of hours that he has signed a 5-year deal. We'll have more of that to come. Also, Kephren Pulisic, could he be back on Newcastle United's radar? Gallagher and Kephren Phillips, two players that are expected to move on in the summer. Could Newcastle United be a destination, but not on a permanent deal? Darlow has suddenly sprung up out of nowhere, being in advanced talks with Bournemouth. So could it be that the goalkeeper is staying in the Premier League? And also, Kephren Thuram, the battle goes on because it's been reported that Newcastle United are still very, very interested in the player and will battle Liverpool for his signature. No official bids yet, but has Liverpool's finances been a little rocked with what they've spent lately? We'll take a look. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody and welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name's Paul and this is the Daily News Show. Before we get cracking on the show, as usual, if you do enjoy today's show, do give it the thumbs up, guys, so we stay up there in the search results and fellow fans like yourselves can find the channel and hopefully subscribe in the future. Also, if you are new and you like what you see, come and be part of this amazing community by hitting that subscribe button. It is free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Right, as you can see in the headline, Tonali finally announced within the last couple of hours. Of course, Newcastle did the big little teasing thing about an Italian, and then suddenly out it came that he'd signed a 5-year deal. Now, what has happened is it's been described as an undisclosed fee. That can be for many, many different reasons, but of course, a lot of journalists have reported that the fee is around the 55 to 60 million pound mark. He is a wonderful signing. As if you've been watching our watch-alongs for Italy, although they've gone home early from the European 21 championships, this guy, he's immense. His touch is fantastic. His set-piece taking is on another level. And I think that will really, really help Kieran Trippier in a way, because he is not going to be the set-piece taker for everything, because with Tonali, you know, every single thing he did with Italy, it forced a defender to do something. You know, it wasn't one of those, he didn't put any crosses in that just drifted away. He forced the defenders to do something and have to clear the ball. So having someone like him is just, for the forwards, they'll be just itching. And of course, everybody from set pieces, you know, when the defenders go forward, etc. It's going to be incredible to see what he does with set pieces. He will interact with Kieran Trippier. There's no doubt about it. Trippier will still take some, but I expect Tonali to be one of them right up there with the set players. Now, we do have a very special show tonight on Sandro Tonali. That will start at 7 o'clock. We'll take a proper deep dive into the player himself. We'll look at past seasons, what he's done. We'll look at his injuries record and what he's going to bring to Newcastle United. Where do we think he's going to play? Massive show on Tonali tonight. As you know, the Toon Review, when we do sign players, we do these special shows that sort of welcome them to Newcastle and take a deep dive into what they'll bring to the football club. So do join us at 7 p.m. for that one. But Tonali is finally a Newcastle United footballer. Kephren Pulisic has been linked with Newcastle United on many, many different occasions. I think ever since the takeover, every single transfer window, Pulisic has been mentioned, but the transfer has never happened. There's never been an offer in, and nothing has come from it. However, this time around, he was expected to sign for AC Milan. We know there was an official bid from AC Milan in the region of £12 million. Chelsea rejected that outright. Lyon are also interested in the player from Ligue 1. But Pulisic, would he be a bad signing for Newcastle? I know he's had his injuries, guys, and that is one thing that, you know, we have to take into consideration. But it is led to believe that Chelsea will accept £20 million for Kephren Pulisic, which I think is an absolute bargain. Yes, he's had his injuries, but he hasn't really had it good at Chelsea. Certainly, if you look at last season and the season before, when things started to take a downward spiral, it's affected all the players there. You know, you could say that Mason Mount, he's gone to Man United now, but he went off the boil. Raheem Sterling hasn't happened there for Chelsea, simply because of what was going on last season. It was just a shit show. And Chelsea will be a very, very different animal this season under Pochettino. But I don't think Pulisic is going to be in Poch's plans. Now, This would solve for me the right-hand side of midfield and give Miggy a rest every now and again. I'm not saying Pulisic would come in and be first choice on the team sheet, but he'd be a hell of a player to have in the squad. I believe so. So if Miggy's not on form, we know he has these spells where he plays well, then he doesn't, but we have another option on that side. Eddie Howe sometimes, yes, he likes the inverted wingers, but wouldn't it be nice just to have an out-and-out right winger like Pulisic is to whip those balls in? Many people have mentioned Diaby at Leverkusen, of course, who has gone very quiet on the transfer radar at the moment, which is sad to see because I'd love a player like Diaby at Newcastle. But if we can't go for someone like him, then £20 million for a Christian Pulisic, for me, would be an absolute bargain. It really would. But we do have to remind ourselves that Lyon and AC Milan are still in there. AC Milan haven't come in with another bid yet, and we know money is tight there, but they've just sold Tonali to us. So however much they've got up front, maybe they can put something towards that transfer deal. But would you have Christian Pulisic at Newcastle? Not as first choice, but as a squad member, because I certainly would. Two players that are expected to leave their clubs this summer are Conor Gallagher and Calvin Phillips. Now, for Conor Gallagher, he's been on loan to a couple of different clubs and done really, really well on those loans and forced his way into the England setup. So you have to say well done to him. But again, similar to Pulisic, is he going to be in the plans of Pochettino? I'm not so sure. Chelsea certainly are probably looking to get him out the door and free up some more space. The same with Calvin Phillips. It hasn't worked at Man City. It was a very surprising transfer for me in the first place. A lot of people did say, or did warn Calvin Phillips, he's going there. He's got to get ahead of some absolutely brilliant midfielders, let's be honest. But Gundogan's gone now. Is that a chance for Calvin Phillips, or will Man City decide that, it just hasn't happened for him and let him go? Now, from a Newcastle point of view, the reports are suggesting that they won't be going for permanent transfers, certainly not at the moment. They could go with loan deals with view to buy. If they're interested in Conor Gallagher and the same with Calvin Phillips, then loan deals would seem to be the option that Newcastle United will be looking at. So would you be happy bringing them in on loan? Because if we did bring them in on loan, we've got nothing to lose. If they don't perform, then we don't keep them on. However, with that option to buy, if they do perform, then let's get them in. Two English players, building up the squad again for our European campaign and our campaign and everything else, to be honest with you. So would it be a bad move if we were to bring a couple of loan deals in? Let me know in the comments. Has Karl Darlow finally found his next club? Now, of course, he has been heavily linked with a move to the Championship with Hull City, Middlesbrough, and I think it was Blackburn also involved in looking at him. However, it may look now as if Karl Darlow is going to be staying in the Premier League with Bournemouth. Talks are reportedly at a very advanced stage now, and I think it's around a £5 million fee for Dalo to head to Bournemouth. Now, for me, it's a brilliant move for Karl Darlow and Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will be getting a very good goalkeeper. They currently have 4 goalkeepers on their books, but none of them are a number one as such. Darlow would go in there as the number one. It would be a huge opportunity for Karl Darlow. It really would. He's 32 now. It's certainly the last big move of his career, and to stay in the Premiership, I think it'd be a hell of an added bonus for him. But let me know what you think. I mean, Darlow, he's hanging around at the minute, isn't he? But he's not expected to stay with the club over the summer. He'll be on his way very soon. And this has just popped up this morning, this report, that the talks are at an advanced stage, and Karl Darlow could be on his way to the South Coast. And finally, Kephren Thuram. Now, this name has been very heavily linked with Liverpool in the last few days. Ever since I brought that video out saying that Newcastle United were turning to Kephren Thuram as their number one target, that has disappeared again, and Liverpool fans have said, no, he's signing for us, he's signing for us. That ain't happened yet. And reports this morning are suggesting that Newcastle United are willing to battle Liverpool to get this guy in. Now, we've looked at Turam in transfer shows, and quite frankly, I think he'd be an excellent signing. The price tag that Nice are asking for is, I mean, you're looking at 60 million quid, guys. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but you're paying for the quality. Now, is Turam going to be as good as maybe a Madison or a Szoboszlai? different positions, guys. Different players altogether. This young French kid is a baller, and I would love him at Newcastle. But again, the transfer fee could be the issue. But according to the reports, we are well in for him, and we are not going to give up on this transfer. Liverpool, on the other hand, have just bought Szoboszlai. Now, rumour has it that Liverpool had to get a loan in order to buy Szoboszlai for the release clause. Now, that would suggest to anyone with a bit of mathematical sense that thinking, Liverpool, can they afford £60 million now? I'm not so sure they can. If they've had to get a loan, yes, they've had to pay the release clause all in one go. So that's certainly more money than they were probably willing to spend. But the Newcastle was interested. They didn't want to risk it ending the release clause and then having to go into a battle with Newcastle. But Newcastle can now do this with Turam. We can go tooth for tooth with Liverpool to try and get him in. Now, yes, I know Liverpool have got a fantastic history and they've won lots of things, etc., etc. And they do have the pulling power. There's no doubt about that. But so do we now. We've just brought in Tonali. That will make a lot of players take note and think, right, Tonali signed for Newcastle. There must be something good happening there. You know, you've got Bruno, Botman there, Isak. You know, we've got some damn good players at Newcastle now, and that will reiterate around the footballing world that something is building there. So to say we can't get Turam, I think is a little bit far-fetched. I think we can get him. But it all depends on the negotiations. Of course, the price tag is huge, but you just never know in football what will happen in the next few days. But there you go, guys. That is the daily news for you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, do give it the thumbs up. As usual, it does help us in the search results on YouTube. And if you're new and like what you see, please do hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review if you hit that join button just underneath. That will enable you to pay a monthly fee to the channel and be entered into all the members' draws. You can donate while we're off air if you do so wish by hitting the thanks button, which is just along from the join button. And we do have a Patreon now where you can sign up and listen to podcasts away from the camera. We are doing separate podcasts now on some different things that we don't cover in our shows. So the link for that is in the description as well if you want to join the Patreon. There will be members tiers as we go on the Patreon, but there's only one tier at the moment, which enables you to listen to all the podcasts that we're going to be doing in the very near future. But that's it, guys. Leave a comment down below about the different stories, about your opinions on it, and we will catch you. Don't forget, if you're watching this on Monday, tonight at 7 p.m, we have the Tonali special. Not one to be missed. We'll see you very soon, guys. Take care.